ahead. So, at the end of the day, you're going into the third lap. You might as well start to cycle through some of the items you don't want. The barricade's doing work on the entrances of every part of the cavern here.
A lot of barricades coming down. Now that we're getting through most of track number 2, or lap number 2, excuse me, I don't know why I keep speaking that today. As we're getting through most of lap number 2 and now starting lap number 3, the real thing you want to keep your eyes on is exactly what the team lineup is going to be, which players are in what positions, what items do they have on hand, because it's all about that synergy there in that final push. It's going to determine who wins. And right now for Planet, I'm kind of liking their spot. They have 2 players with magnets pretty close to the front position, or at least they did for a moment there. And we're only 500 meters away.
Yeah, we'll see if Jimin, if he can cut in front. He's not going to have the items to do so. Sungha has to be the one to cut in front if it's going to be Liv Sandbox's win. And he's trying, but he gets magneted behind too, and a great water bomb to really clog up the entrance here towards the last section of the track. And Planet will finally get that elusive first track win in today's team match against Sandbox.
No, Reboot, for what it's worth, Kosu, Load, and Ding, they've had a tremendous start here, but just wait, Trober. I'm guaranteeing you, over the course of lap number 1, we're going to have some shakeups.
Oh, for sure. And especially on a track that has so many wide areas like this, you're able to get in all sorts of cuts or split cuts just to really make sure that you gain an advantage in your boost. So we'll see if that comes into play as well for the Guangdong Freaks. Now, one thing to note is Kosu, the only one running a different build on the side of Reboot outside of the 6062. He's got that 6-1-6-1. So making sure that, he can still gain a little bit of better recovery should there be any collisions coming in towards the end.
Yep, Guangdong Freaks closing the distance a little bit right now with Sungbin and Cool going to try and contest these top 2 spots. Of course, positions 1 and position 2, if they're able to hold that, will be a winning condition here for Reboot. And Sungbin right now out of drafting range has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, now they are trying to just pile on the team boost here on the side of Guangdong Freaks just so that Sungbin can catch up. He needs to at least break in to second place to have any sort of shot, right? If we have the 1-2 position on the side of Reboot, and he's going to be able to get it. So now it comes down to his teammates. Can we have Spear and World get ahead in the middle of the pack?
All right, Load saving the situation right there for Reboot a little bit as we get closer and closer to the finish line. Freaks, Sungbin, if he's able to hold this position right now, the Freaks might have a win, up 20 to 19 points. And actually, Cool, out of nowhere yet again, able to take pole position, and the Freaks go from winning by a hair to winning 24 to 15 in track number 2. As I was not prepared for that, man. I was watching Load and Sungbin thinking that, okay, these are the 2 racers that are potentially going to decide this thing. Commanding position here coming into the first hairpin turns.
Yeah, and Acid Fly, the thing is at this point, the only thing you can focus on is getting to that first place, because even if your teammates are too far behind, you have to at least get him to first place to then try to maybe block them in the later lap. So he can't really think about where his teammates are right now. His only focus needs to be to get ahead of Insu, and he's trying, but Insu just making sure that he's also cutting. Oh! And he just comes in from the side.
Insu with some beautiful sweeping there, takes all momentum away from Acid Fly, and Acid Fly going to fall to 3rd place. He's fighting to try to get back into top 2 right now, but it's Liv Sandbox holding the top 3 positions. And Neil, he might be a runner, but right now he's just supporting his teammates any way he can by swiping and sweeping all the way to the back of the pack. And I gotta say, Trover, this is looking really good for Liv Sandbox.
Yeah, it just right now you first of all have to get through Jimin, and even then Acid Fly. Oh! So he's trying to get through, and Jimin actually blocks him off. Kind of goes for a mini straight boost there to just completely shut him down. And Scarlet, there's nothing he can really do.
No, even Insu coming in here takes the wide first hairpin turn, but it doesn't matter with Hyunsu and Jimin holding the top 2 spots. Finish line only 500 meters away. Scarlet just in no man's land.
Oh, Insu!
Styling!
Oh my God!
Styling on Planet right now, as he knows he just needs to allow his teammates to get that room for that top 2 spot. And Liv Sandbox with 3 consecutive 1-2 finishes are going to sweep speed mode here against Team Planet. Jutsi is able to pass Insu right now, who is racing his heart out here coming into the inner tomb section. Actually, some nice collision there is going to push Sungha off the platform, and so Rox getting some counterattacks in here.
Oh, no, Vega. He had some lead off of that. There were 3 members of Liv Sandbox all the way in the back, but Vega, he loses momentum and he falls back to 7th place again, but it's Rox with that 1-2. It's all about Insu trying to deny that.
And with that collision there on Sungha, pushing him down into 8th place, now you have a little bit of some compensation there for Vega's early hiccup, and Rox in a commanding spot here in top 3. You can see Jung pulling away from the pack. Spell and Zitzy doing their best to support him right now. They do not want to let Insu close the distance. Insu, I feel like he's just dodging and weaving like a running back here, trying to close the distance as best he can, but I mean, it's so difficult here for Liv Sandbox coming into the final stretches of lap number 2.
Spell, he actually had a big collision and he fell back really far. So now the positional advantage for Rox is really gone. Only hope is Jung at the first place. Dutsy, he wants to go for that 1-2. Insu right now blocking him out from doing so. As we see players, they're taking their turns and the beautiful lines are coming in.
I think we might have seen another player drop down there into the tomb, but that's neither here nor there as we only have 500 meters left right now. Rox in a commanding position. Jung needs to hold on to that first place, and it looks like he will. If Rox is able to maintain positions 4 and 5, but no!
He can't lose that
Liv
position!
Sandbox comes through! He gets past! Hyunsu passes Vega, and that's going to be the track going to Liv Sandbox by a hair with a 20-19 score. Mainly prioritizing Nitrous Gauge here as opposed to body blocking and as opposed to sweeping. Big collision there! In fact, Insu bouncing off of Jong and the wall, going to lose a ton of momentum, and now Jong, he can almost be in time trial mode as Insu's going to be, the pressure is on right now for him to start to close the gap.
Yeah, and look at the booster gauge advantage for Jung. All Jung needs to do is maintain that and his position. Insu has a lot of catch-up to do. He's also not in draft range, so Insu's going to have to greed for a lot of these tighter lines.
Insu taking a slightly tighter line here than Jung. As you can see, Jung playing this a bit conservatively. And all right, Insu.
Recovery.
Yeah, coming in. Those tighter lines paying off right now, but Jung with these nitrous in the bank. Let's see him try to pass right now.
Yeah, Jung right now, he's pretty much looking for the optimal line. Right, like this! He does it again! He did it earlier where he waits for Insu to take the outer and then he goes for the inner. This time he wasn't able to build himself the full lead. He's still within drafting range, however.
Yeah, in drafting range, but Insu's doing a good job of blocking him out.
Jung!
Coming into the final turns here. We're still in drafting range. Jung, if he can maintain these body blocks, but actually Insu coming in from the outside. It's going to take the lead. 300 meters to go. Jung actually up on the high ground. Oh, and the block on Insu! And Jung is going to win it again! How does he do it? How does he do it? Roxy Sports with another win! Oh my goodness! Jung is unbeatable!
Jung, he took that inner line into the side pavement, and that gave him the positional advantage over Insu. He's absolutely feeling it. What a beautiful finish.